Paul, just ahead of the FA Cup game, want to catch up on Craig. How's Craig? I think it's the first question we've got to find out.
Yeah, well, he's significantly better, as you would expect or hope for. He was obviously confused when he came off the pitch on Saturday. He saw the doctor yesterday, seeing the doctor again today. He's been obviously having checks every day and he's coming back, so to speak, but he was earlier in the week still suffering from like minor headaches and memory loss. So hopefully today he'll get the all clear that he can join back in training. But if not, it will be next week before he can join back in again. I mean, he's trying to claim that he's kept a clean sheet. I mean, I think he's pushing the boundaries of decency as a manager too far. But I've just literally left him a FaceTime message, so he seems full of spirit, but still not 100%.
It's the concussion protocols, wasn't it? So it will be judged after the...
Yeah. So if he gets the all clear today, which all his positivity is going in the right direction, he scores, he gets scored, gets asked these questions and asked memory tests and stuff like that. If he gets the all clear, he can join back in tomorrow, which will make him available for Barnet. If he doesn't, then he won't be available for Barnet. That's the absolute truth. But at the time, obviously it was scary for everyone, as it was. In fairness, you forget about their player. He went off as well, concussed. But Craig was in a bad way. So obviously, hopefully, next time I speak, Saturday, I can tell you some good news.
What about the rest of the squad? I just wanted to have a catch up on Aaron Collins. How close is he to us actually seeing him play a bit more football?
Yeah, I called him Aaron Pogba today because he sort of played as much value per pence than Man U got for him. He was running today again. He's done a lot of work with the conditioners, so he should be in. I think he's in full training on Monday. It doesn't mean that he'll be available for next Saturday. He might be if he has an unbelievable week and a lot of things go his way. But he's joining back in Monday. So, and Gethin's not far behind him either. So, which will be great news and big people and big players for this squad.
I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the FA Cup and maybe some of your memories in the FA Cup. But how do you approach this first round of the competition? Do you change it up dramatically, or do you make a few changes, rest a few players? What are your plans?
Yeah, sort of.
Well, you're not going to tell me. You might not tell me.
No, I don't mind sort of telling you a bit. I think I'm going to have to change a little bit of it up. Not necessarily because I need to. It's more the fact that there's some lads on the edge who could do with some game time. I'm not doing it out of charity. I still want to go through, but I'm not putting in, respectfully, I'm not putting a 17-year-old in because I just think it'd be nice to see him run around with an MK shirt on. It's more the fact that if something happens and I want to change it, I want to make sure that 2 or 3 of them are ready to play. That's the truth. So I might change it a little bit. I won't take any risks with anyone because I don't need to. So that's the way I see it. I've had conversations with the lads today. We've worked. We had 20 outfielders today, which was good, and we've worked at a few different connotations. So I'll sleep on it tonight and pick it tomorrow morning.
I suppose it'd be made slightly more complicated if you had a Tuesday game after this Saturday. That would kind of change things a little bit, wouldn't it?
Tuesday games for managers are no fun. I know they're good for fans. If you follow the game, it's great fun, or you want to write about something. But for managers, no Tuesday's a dream because you then have the whole week to see who's fit, who's right, who got more time to watch the opposition and prepare yourself. But I know it's going to be a tough game. I just said to the lads then, in my opinion, if you finish above Colchester in the league, you're up. I think they're the informed side of the league. I'm telling you stuff you obviously know, but they drew with Swindon at the weekend, but they won away at Grimsby. They beat Chelsea at home, beat Harrogate, and there's another big team they've played recently. I'll beat Gillingham as well. So their actual form is excellent, but the opposition as well is highly respectable. So I know they've got real pace along the front line. They might be bringing their number 9 might be fully fit for a start as well, so we've got to be really careful. Good home side, and in fairness to the Crowleys, their FA Cup history is really good. I know how much a cup run means to them, and I know how organised and prepared their team will be, so we're going to have to match that, especially away from home.
What about the FA Cup as a competition? Your memories, you've got anything that sticks out?
Yeah, I've got a few things really. It's weird when you, as a player, when you play the first round or two, unless you're lucky enough to come in the proper round in Jan, you have a couple of games, and if you're fortunate enough to get, on the end of it, positive results, you end up with the possibility of a really good fixture. So my two that stand out was Liverpool. We played Liverpool at Anfield, and a lot of my friends came from Norfolk with their partners and everything. I hadn't been a professional footballer for that long, so it was like a real treat. And it went downhill after that. I never had another Liverpool. We lost 2-0, but I remember us hitting the crossbar in the first half, and we thought, wow, we hit the crossbar, we done well. But it was like Heskey, Owen, Carragher, like all the names. And I remember standing in the tunnel looking, and I'm thinking, I'm not great with names, but I was thinking, wow, I know all of them. So it's like they played their proper team, which I regarded as cheating, to be honest. They didn't need to play their proper team. But I was asking the lads today about it, about their big games they've played in. Some were funnier than others. Someone told me about playing in COVID at Torquay. I don't know if that counts as you've got to have people in the ground to witness it, I think. I don't think what's your best game of your career? Well, during the COVID season, we had,
Yeah, there were six people there.
Yeah, 6 people. They were cheering me on though. Okay, that's good. And then I had the joy, I say very loosely, of managing against Man City at the Etihad, and we took a good cracking. But the good story about that is, like, the players were all buzzing, thinking they're playing Man City, and all the fans and the owner, brilliant, and it's to be a great game. Coaching staff, a little bit more. This could go horribly. So after about 20 minutes, I remember turning around and saying to Rich, "This is going all right, this is," because their team was a joke again. So, I mean, you can cut all this out, but when we turned up, I went and sat in the seats in the dugout, and on the big screen in the corner, like, they all turn up to like a DJ and everything at Man City.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
So I was sitting there waiting for loads of little people, like 14-year-olds coming out to play us, and they were all like De Bruyne and Sane and all that, and I was like, what is going on here? So then when we shook hands, give team sheets and that, I remember my captain walked back into the dressing room and said to Barks, which is still to this day hilarious, he went, De Bruyne isn't that big. And we were like, look, you don't need to worry about how big he is, you need to worry about how quickly he moves, right? And they did this goal kick once into the centre of the pitch to De Bruyne, and he chested it, and my player went to head it, and he ran round him, controlled it, played it out wide. And there's a part of me going like that mentally. Yeah. But the nicest thing in football ever happened, I've told this story loads of times, but we ended up losing 8-0, right? And in fairness to us, the following week, I think Schalke lost 9-0, Burton lost 9-0, so it wasn't like a shameful result. The lads give everything. I couldn't knock them. Man City were just outstanding. But the fourth official came over to me on about the 89th minute, and at the time it was 8, and I had this, oh my God, if this goes to 10, like, it doesn't matter what I try and spin as a manager, it's just one of them results that people remember, because it would say 10 in brackets, TEN, wouldn't it? Mm. No one wants that on their managerial record. And the fourth official came over to me, he went, "Warne," and I went, "Yeah," and he went, "We're going to add 0 minutes." And I hugged him, kissed him, and went, "That's the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me." Because I was thinking, if he puts up like 8 minutes, it was 8-0, and the lads were then, last 10 minutes, we were shot to pieces. So I was thinking, oh my days. So luckily, we got away with an 8. And in fairness to the fans, they clapped the team off because they appreciated how hard they worked. So they're my FA Cup memories. Neither are victorious, but both amazing in different ways, really. It was an honour to manage at the Etihad. Obviously, it was brilliant. It was packed, and it was an honour to play against the Liverpool greats. I say play. Share a piece of grass with them is probably a better way to put it. But they're my memories. But we wouldn't have had them if we hadn't won, games before. So Colchester away, I think I mentioned a few weeks ago, isn't a draw that either club have gone, wow, this is exciting. I cannot wait to get in my car. However, if you are, one of us will go through, you get another game, you go through another game, and then all of a sudden it is good. And there, I think for the players, it's for the players. That's how I see it. It's not for the staff, it's for the players and the fan base. So if my dad was Alex Gilby, for example, and I know he's an Arsenal fan, he hides it really well, talks about it all the time, right? But if he was my dad and he was playing against Arsenal, knowing how much it meant for him, to watch my dad playing, at the Emirates or here against Arsenal, I know how much it would mean to him, and that would be one of them memories you'd have forever. So if I speak to my mum, if I phone my mum up now on FaceTime, I mean I couldn't, she'd panic, but I'd say, Mum, I'm on the radio. What's one of your favourite games I played in? And she would definitely say Liverpool. So, hopefully if we can get through, and it's a big if, and you can get a big draw, hopefully it will give memories for the lads that are better than what they've got. That's the truth. It should be better than, a COVID game for Torquay. That's what I honestly think. However, memories are personal, aren't they?
I mean, this interview might be better than that COVID game against Torquay.
Yeah, in my head it is. But now I feel like I'm hammering the player who's told me, so I don't want to mention his name. But but he loved it, so good on him.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
We spoke briefly about Callum Patterson being ill last week. How's he doing?
Yeah, better. He's putting some weight back on. Even though he joined back in training and he was very poorly. He'd lost about 8 or 9 pound in weight, and I know that sounds amazing pre-Christmas, pre-chocolates and everything, but he's obviously lost some muscle in that, some muscle glycogen in that as well, and some fluid. So I can't say he trained well when he came back, because that would be a lie. And as the weeks progressed, he's looked a lot more like himself. I can't say he's back to his, best, but you can't just suddenly put 8 pounds on unless you're gluttonous. So he has to put it back on slowly, and he is training well, and hopefully, by this time next week, he'll be right at it.
At risk of just running through everybody who's injured, but Connor Lemonhigh-Evans, he's been out for a while.
Yeah,
as well.
He's trained all week. He's still got a slight awareness of the injury, but it hasn't got any worse, so that's really positive. So hopefully, if I don't get something when I come back after this interview, he should be available to be involved in the squad at the weekend.
It does feel like you're just getting players back all the time, which is massive, isn't it? Because we spoke for such a long time, and we're obviously still talking about it, about the lack of players that you had, or the squad of players that you had in the treatment room. But it feels like there's an end in sight. Yeah,
which is good, and I do know that there'll obviously be someone else drops out, but that's football. But if we can get Connor back, we get Mags back, because I thought Mags was doing really well, giving us a real balance. You get him back. If I get Aaron back next week, I get Geth back. It's only really the other two who I think, unless there's someone else you want to mention, but I think is Scotty Hogan and Kane Wilson, who are both outstanding players as well. So, so hopefully we get through another clear weekend and welcome more players back next week, and it will just. Because come December is when the games really start, and that's when I think we were talking about the other day that August, September you get a few injuries. It's not the biggest issue. It's not great, obviously, but you have quite a plump squad. It's when you get to December and that, and you have a quick turnaround of games. We've been really lucky. There hasn't been many Tuesday games. Yeah. If we had Saturday, Tuesday with I think we've got the oldest squad in the league. With a lot of injuries, it would have been a lot tougher for us. So we're fortunate there. But if we get a full echelon back of players to pick from when the games come thick and fast, it will give us an advantage, really.
Scott's an interesting one, isn't he? Because it feels like he's been introduced on a couple of occasions and then had those setbacks and just hasn't really been able to find his feet this season.
No, he's been really unlucky. He trains really well. He looks after himself amazingly well. So he's really frustrated because he got back in the team. I think it was at Shrews, and then I could be wrong here, but we came back here. I think it was Gillingham next, and he broke down in the warm-up sort of thing.
Right, yeah.
I don't think he did break down in the warm-up. I think he felt it on the Friday, but thought he'd be okay. And then when he started to warm up on the Saturday, he realised. That's what I think. Yeah. I'm not trying to ruin his character, but I just don't see anything in the warm-up that could have done the damage that he actually had. So whether he tweaked something on the Friday, he thought he'd be okay, and made it a little bit worse. But yeah, so his season hasn't really got going. You're right. The same with Aaron Collins. His season hasn't really got going. But we've been lucky that Pato, Natty, and Rush especially have been leading the line, with obviously helping with Lecco. So we've been fortunate. We've got loads of options up top. Even more so when everyone's fit, but we haven't had that problem yet where you could start the game with not trying to miss anybody out, but you could start the game with Pato and Rush, and then you could bring on Natty and Aaron Collins after 60 minutes. I mean, that is some change to be able to make. So, or vice versa. So I look forward to having them problems, hopefully in the forthcoming weeks.
That's what I think, Paul.
No worries.